for a regular 9 to 5, 40-hour week, that equates to about $8.33. I think that's, at least in the West Coast where I'm at, it's below the minimum wage. How's it going? It's Rocky. It's Friday, August 27th, about 10:33 in the morning in the Pacific Coast. And every Friday, I release content on my experience trading the E-mini futures and the micro E-mini futures. Specifically, I just trade the MYM, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's week 34 of us trading the futures market for the year 2021. This challenge used to be called a $2,000 weekly challenge because our goal was to earn $2,000 every week. But I have mitigated my risks a bit, and I'm now just focusing on the micros, really just trading this on the side, mostly during the Globex session actually, and whenever I can during the day. And happy to say that since my screw up last month, I've had 4 green weeks in a row, more consistent trading. Changed up the strategy a little bit, because now I'm depending more on the hourly charts. Up here is the hourly chart. I have a 90-day 1-hour chart. It's just something that I look at to help me trade longer while holding the futures. It's not recommended to hold futures overnight, but since I am aware of my position size and how big my cash account is, I am able to handle any mark-to-market that happens at 115. So I'm not getting myself in trouble in any margin calls or anything of that nature that could blow up your account, which I have done multiple times. If you're new to my content, I like to draw a vertical line to show when I open a contract and when I close a contract. So when I do open a contract, I denote that by this blue line here. And if I was short on a contract, I denote it by a purple line when I close a contract, and an orange line if I do take a long position on a contract. And as you can tell, this week I again just did only 2 trades. This first trade here was a short, which netted us $150.12. And our second trade here was a long position, which actually netted us $183.12. I'll go to in a bit more detail on why I entered and why I exited these trades, but a lot of the reasons that I stepped back from the market this week was because of the symposium for the Feds in Jackson Hole, and I knew there was going to be a lot of volatility, and the week was really very choppy because they were waiting for what Jerome Powell was going to say after this meeting. So as you can tell here, it was pretty much really just flat. If you draw a line across here, you can see that there was really not a lot of movement. So that is why I depended more on the 1-hour chart. Now let's review the account statement, where I show this for transparency and really so I can show you how I measure my success. And I measure that essentially by my cash balance. And if we look here, I just want to point out that I did deposit some money to the account. I deposited $200 here, which I will then subtract from our ending cash balance. And if we look at our trade history, you can see that I really just did 2 trades for a maximum of 7 contracts. So the first trade was a short, 7 contracts, and then the next trade was a long position with again 7 contracts. And as if you've noticed here, I'm doing multiple contracts, and it seems like my style is adapting more to that because I am trading a micro. But once we get back to E-mini, it will change again, where I'll just be limited, of course, with my cash balance, but we'll see how we can transition our strategy from a micro E-mini to an E-mini. Folks always say that you just scale up and the strategy stays the same. A lot of that is true. A lot of that is also false, because you are, risking yourself a bit more with the E-minis, and I can't actually, buy multiple contracts with the E-mini like I do with the micro because of my size of my account. So we'll see how that goes when we get there, but we do hope to start trading E-mini again by Q4 2021. So our ending cash balance is $7,583.81. However, we did deposit $200 to the account this week, so we're gonna subtract the $200. And our starting cash for the week was $7,050.57. So that gave us cash, our results for the week at $333.24. Now, if we compare that for a regular 9 to 5, 40-hour week, that equates to about $8.33. I think that's, at least in the West Coast where I'm at, it's below the minimum wage. But I'm now looking at this trading as more of a side hustle, something on the side. So it definitely complements my main income. And the percentage, I actually like this data a lot, so I'm gonna bring it up again. So $333.24 is what we started with, and we divide that with our cash balance that we started with, which was $7,050.57, and I'll multiply that by 100 just to make the numbers easier. So that's 4.73%. Was red the first 2 days on Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, I got most of it back, and we were back to a positive that gave us a total of $333.24 for the week. I actually debated if I should do a video this week or not, because my goal really is, to share a real experience that I have of what, I guess, an amateur, beginner, or someone who's doing it on the side, and how to make this a viable source of income. But I wanted to share trades that could be, something that you could understand and replicate to an extent, I guess. But some of my examples this week are not really trades that I could say are smart trades. Similar to last week, they're again trades that are not very consistent. And that's not really the message that I want to send for someone who's trading for the first time. But the overall goal of this channel again was, a bit of a diary for myself, and again to share to someone what a real experience is that I go through while trading, without trying to sell any courses, not trying to sell any chat rooms, or not trying to sell anything for that matter. All I really ask, which I do appreciate, is for you to just like and subscribe to the channel, which I'm very appreciative of. So our first trade analysis here occurred on Tuesday after hours, actually, at about 4:15 in the afternoon. And this is what I mean by I've been focusing more during the Globex session. And I had drawn my average here. For 7 contracts, my average was 35,333. And I drew the white line both on the time-based chart and the tick-based chart, just so visually you can tell how I was doing on this trade. So for someone who's new, a short basically is I'm betting against the market. And what that means is I'm gaining money if the value is under this white line. So that's a short can be a complicated concept, but that's the simple way for me to explain it, because it took me a long time to really understand how a short worked in the past. But that's just a quick high level description of what the short is. So this was actually quite a good short, and the reason I entered is if you look at our stochastic RSI, well, first, if you look at our candles, you're showing me bearish signs to it. And if you look at the stochastic RSI, we did hit the oversold side, and on the MACD had crossed over, and the signs are very bearish here. But if we look at the tick-based side, sure, the MACD was below the zero and not quite diverging, but I was going for the fact that it was below zero. And if we looked at the MACD itself, this was actually trending down a little bit. But as what happens with trading during the Globex session, when you hit the top of the hour, which you'll see on this candle right here at the 5 o'clock, things tend to move a lot, more volatility that happen. So I was actually a bit of underwater a little bit. So if you look at this time-based chart, you can see how it moved up, and that's the reason why I averaged up. So 2 more contracts for a total of 6 contracts, and that's how we were making some money. But I got greedy a little bit because, well, I wouldn't call it greed. My risk to reward ratio is pretty much 1-to-1, but I wanted to hit the $200 mark. So that was a goal that I had. And if you check out this link above, I was trying to do a live stream, but bit of a technical difficulties there. And, we could have exited at about $150, but I'm going to switch it to the 1 hour chart here. And it actually became a very long trade. So as you can see here, it kept going down, and then at around 10 p.m. it shot up, and I could have exited in the morning, but it went back up again. But a lot of the reasons that I really stayed was the 1 hour chart. If you look in the MACD, I was waiting for this to really just fall below the 0 line. So this is why I say this is not a good example for someone who's trading for the first time, because you're hoping for a lot to happen at this point. But based on me trading for a while, it did not make me nervous because it was such a flat chart here, and nothing about it really made me like panic too much. And what was kind of tough is, by the time we did exit, we just made about $150.12 for it, and it was because it was giving me signs that it was going to reverse back. But if I had held on just a tad bit more, this actually went down a little bit, a whole lot more, where I could have made more money. But again, like what I mentioned in other videos, what happened after you have exited doesn't matter. And that leads me to my second trade, which is a bad example of a beginner. I was feeling like it was going to reverse back, and that's the reason why I entered this other trade here. So our average here, which I'm going to draw with the horizontal line, is a 35,264, and this is again a bad example, which I apologize, but not one that you can really learn from, but it shows my experience for the week. So as you can see on this 1 hour chart for this trade, which was really more of an emotional trade, because I lost that patience I had of just waiting for that short to happen, and I thought it was already ready to reverse. And look at that, I entered a trade out of emotions. But I'll switch to the 5 minutes to show you exactly what was happening. I was actually underwater for most of it, but I was able to recover today, and that's how we made $333.24 on it. But again, it could have gone either way, and that's why I'm saying these are bad examples. But my goal here is to show you what my results are for the week. Alright, so this is the trade analysis number 2, and it related to my previous trade where I was getting frustrated with it, and I thought it was going to reverse back, and that's why I closed this contract here. And before you know it, it was actually trending way more down, and there's nothing I can say about the stochastic RSI or the MACD that will tell you why I went long, other than the fact that I was my mental capacity to be able to be patient and let the charts do what it needs to do reverse back. And that's why for most of this trade I was pretty much down. But happy to say that Friday today, we were finally, well, this is around midnight, but finally, today we had this spike right at 7 o'clock, and we were able to exit and gain $333.24. So I guess for this week, I guess you can say, profit is profit. That's what matters. And I apologize if these are trades that are not really something you can learn from, but I just wanted to show you a results-driven week, positive week, and I'm quite proud of it because for the month of August, we had 4 straight green weeks, and hoping to continue that for September and be back on trading E-minis back in Q4. Thank you for taking the time to check out my content, and if you did like what you saw today, please do like and subscribe. I really do appreciate that. And if you didn't, please give me another chance, and hopefully it'll be a lot more fun and you'll learn something next time. All right, see ya.